talking about we're gonna take a loan out for all this water and sewer. How much is that loan gonna be and what's it gonna cost us a month? And how many years is it for?
I believe it's 30-year loans, but Chad Hansen has those answers.
Okay,
It's an SRF loan, they're both a 30-year term, currently 2.5%. The breakdown of exactly what it's gonna cost you, I don't have that in front of me, cause Kirsten and the bond council, calculated between the current costs and came up with, like, say, the $12 for the water, and I wanna say it's roughly half of that is related to the loan and the other half is to balance your guys' budget, but I don't have that exact breakdown, cause I didn't work on it directly. And Nate was here at the last meeting, presented all that.
Yeah.
Nathan Bailu, your bond counsel. But unfortunately, I don't have the exact number. I wanna say it's roughly half of that $12 is for the loan and the other half is to balance the water budget.
okay, now, anything extra that builds up in that account, is it gonna be used for something else? Or is it, can we use it to pay off the loan earlier?
So the terms of the SRF loan require that you collect 110% of the payment. And you set that extra 10% aside until you can cover a payment if you're short on money or people aren't paying their bills or things. And as you get close to the life end of the loan, a lot of communities do pay it off a year or two early with that reserve amount when they get to that point. And you can. There is, and again, I don't know in the budget exactly what Kirsten included. There's generally a reserve fund that covers repairs, replacing fire hydrants and wear out valves, routine maintenance. You should have a reserve fund as a
Yeah.
general rule of thumb. It's about 10% of your.
But everything else over prudent reserve is, use it up to pay the loan off.
You do have the town definitely has the option to pay off the loan early.
Yeah, you don't have to have that extra money laying around where somebody can use it for something else, like paying wages or something like that.
Again, that's part of your annual budgeting process, the community's annual budgeting process, so you're kinda, I'm out of my depths a little bit.
Okay. That's about all.
Okay, does anybody else have
And
anything?
I've also taken care of a piece of city property between me and my neighbor that the city has never come by and taken care of weeds or mowed or anything else. It's an alleyway that's dead end by the ditch, but nobody comes by to take care of it. Randy and I have been taking care of it for 25 years.
And I thank you for doing that.
But I came to the city and wanted to buy the property. No, we can't sell that to you. That's city property. Yet Mr. Perkins wound up with a piece of city property for nothing, because he was taking care of it. Fair is fair. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Jesse Boyd. Hey, I was just trying to figure out who is responsible for the upkeep and maintenance of the little drainage ditch that runs down the other side of the road? Because the concrete's all busted up, but the biggest thing is, I have no trees down on that end. I'm at the Little Cowboy, by the way, the former Little Cowboy. And there's a grate there that goes somewhere underneath the ground. I don't know where it goes, but all the trash, leaves and everything stopped right in front of my house, and we have big rains. Floods up onto the thing if I don't catch it in time. And when I do catch it, it fills that whole trash can full of leaves and trash and dirt, and plus the trash can in the back sometimes. It's continuously going over.
Usually the person that maintains that is Harley and the people that own that place right there, where she lives on the other side of the railroad tracks. They're,
I mean, it starts up here.
yeah, it starts up there, runs all the way down through there. They have the water rights
It's the
to
person
it.
that has the water rights.
Okay, well, it's probably like 2 inches of dirt filled all the way up down in it, and grass growing in it, and concrete's all busted up.
It hasn't been used in the last couple of years because the ditches are, yeah, not very good shape.
I mean, it just.
And that's something the council would need to look at, because We had discussed a number of years ago about getting rid of that ditch and putting a pipe in. But
I don't know
at
where
that
it
time,
goes to.
the council did not.
You can see on the other side of my grate, the pipe behind it is probably 2 inches of dirt in there, so something needs to be,
Probably-
I don't have no way to get in there and clean that out, so.
Well, Mark has been talking about getting the jetter and jetting it out, because you gotta go way on the other side of the museum and start with the jetter to clean that out. Probably come full of dirt.
Need to figure out a way to just stop all the dirt and trash and leaves from coming.
Okay, do we have anything else? We've got to get this meeting done. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll close this meeting now. And we'll start our regular city council meeting. Let's open that up. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, approval of minutes, of May 13th, 2024.
I move to approve the minutes for May 13th, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for May 13th, 2024. All in favor? For the minutes for May 22nd.
Those are on hold. We don't have them.
Don't have them? Okay. Do you have any correspondence?
No.
Public comment for items not on the agenda. Do we have anybody that would wish to talk about something that is not on the agenda? Well, go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, I think you're doing a good job mowing the whole town, but why are you mowing private property and everything? There are two different places that's being mowed, private property.
Who's mowing? What
Whoever's
private
running the
property?
mower. Well, the Legion is one, and Vargas's is two. They're mowing that whole lot. Vargas's, well, the state Vargas's.
I know we've been mowing along the edge of the road.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
it's
aware that
not just
we're,
there, it's private property too.
well, that's something I'll talk with.
Yeah, because
with Jeremy.
you can patch a couple holes with what that's costing you.
Yeah,
With, yeah.
Jeremy, I'll talk to Jeremy. But, anything else? Marge, you had something.
Yeah, I did. I was very disappointed at that flood meeting that 2 members didn't show up. It was very educational. It was the most educational I have been to on something like that. And I guess I feel that the council needs to communicate more and work more together and come up and hold things more reliable. No ringers thrown in, no behind the scenes people being hired without the council voting on it and doing it properly. And a few things like that, please, and thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Okay. Mayor and council. This is a time when the mayor or council members can bring a concern before the council that is not otherwise listed on the agenda. No action can be taken at this time. If action is necessary, the item may be put on the next meeting agenda. Do you guys have any?
Yes, did DNRC send off those sample letters that they want us to send out to the floodplain? Has anybody contacted them?
I have not seen that.
Have you bothered to contact them and
I have
ask them
not
if they have them ready? Because we've got people doing stuff down there right now.
Well, I know. But that was the agreement, we would get these letters, get them out, educate everybody before we started telling everybody what they're gonna have to move whatever, do whatever. Cause they're, yeah,
Are you-
I have not contacted him though.
You need to contact them because if we don't get a move on this, we are in big trouble.
Yeah.
Our deadline was October, I believe, getting all of this in compliance.
Yep. Yep. I thought you guys were in constant contacting with him.
I have a phone call into one of them.
That one, okay.
They've not responded back.
No, okay. Okay, I can't say because I have not heard, anything from him. I will add that to my list to do.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do we have an ordinance on upkeep on a person's property, such as trimming trees, cutting the grass, what have you?
Have a weed ordinance.
Leaf?
Weed.
A weed, it's kind of a weed ordinance, yes.
You in a house next to me?
Public, yeah, we've got, I have 2 or 3 that we're working on.
I understand, I got a new owner for that.
Before we get too carried away, we need to take care of our own.
I understand. Gotta
That
find
lot-
somebody
That lot down there, where the wells are,
it's bad.
is very bad.
I know Mark was gonna try to work on that today, I don't know if he did or not.
I had to weld the mower,
Oh,
frame
okay.
was busted on the front of that mower.
Speaking of which, Mark, did you pass your tests? Pass your water and sewer test?
Yep, I did. Okay, one thing I need to bring up is, towards the end of the month, I might be going on vacation. I'm gonna be gone, I don't know if it's a week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, it all depends. But I'm just letting everybody know that I might not be here, and if I do go, then Nate is the president of the council. He's the one in charge, and then I'll let him know and whatever council people I can get hold of. Everybody seems, tell everybody. Clerk knows, everybody knows. So, and that's there's a rule that goes by that, but I'm just letting everybody know. It may or may not.
That's in this month?
Into this month, actually, into next month. I may not be here at the next meeting, I'm not sure how I got people that plan that. So, I'm just along for the ride. So, but I'll let you know for sure. The dates and keep you up on where we're at. And that way everything will be on that. Okay.
Are we paying Jeremy to mow extra? I mean, you've got a full-time guy and a part-time guy, what are they doing that they can't mow?
Well, Mark has been keeping him busy. Jeremy has been one, but however, Jeremy has decided that he does not want to mow as much as he has. So I'm trying to find somebody else. I have actually talked with Mark's wife, seems to be willing to do that. But it'll be roadsides, a few things here in town. And I'm not sure, I talked to Kristen about that, as far as wages. She said whatever, I'm not sure, I don't know. I know we paid Jeremy pretty good, but that's the same wage he's always had.
But I guess
I agreed on.
but I guess my question is what is it that Mark and Matthew are doing that's keeping them so busy that they can't mow? Remember, I did this job by myself for 2 years. I did all the mowing. And when we did hire a guy on, we still did all the mowing.
No?
On
Well,
our-
when Mark gives his thing at the bottom of the agenda, then we can ask him what he's been doing so that we can satisfy your answer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is Harley's getting milled all the time?
That's done privately.
What is?
That's been done privately.
Yeah, Harley mows her own.
That
side
was,
of the
that
road.
was mowed privately
Because it
by,
used to be.
no, it was done privately.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. You guys have anything else?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I heard something about, we got some part-time employees, or not employees, but volunteers.
We do?
Somebody said something about you got part-time people coming and doing this, doing that. No? I know there's something coming up here on the agenda.
Maybe that's
No.
with the garbage or the burn pile.
We just said on the burn pile if it would be run by volunteers.
Well, my big question was the liability, if we're gonna have volunteers.
Kristen said she would cover that under the insurance.
So, town's gonna pay for that?
It's like $1 a person, it breaks down to nothing for the hours that they actually put in. It gives them, through our insurance, it works out like it's like $1.13 per volunteer.
Okay, we need to keep that under the proper agenda. item,
Yeah,
Okay?
that's coming up, yeah.
So nothing else, let's go ahead and fishing game, has the game warden here? Yeah.
I am
okay.
not a game warden, but close enough.
Close enough.
I didn't bring enough.
How's the
handouts,
fishing?
so. I'm gonna hand these to you, because
Okay.
you seem to have a lot of authority.
I don't.
I'm gonna talk about a slightly less contentious issue, or bears.
So if you would introduce
Yeah,
yourself.
so I'm Daniel McHugh, I'm Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks Bear Specialist, I'm at a Red Lodge, Region 5. So all that is in Region 5 is under my purview. I've been here for 1 year, so my knowledge of this area is still pretty limited. It's growing. Since I've been here, Fromberg's been disproportionately had problems. I would say, you know, that we're not on Red Lodge scale, and hopefully we never get to that point, but it's pretty bad, at least in the fall, and then this spring, as many of you know. So I'm gonna propose a couple different things, and then just let you guys ask any questions. But number one's gonna be a buffer zone. And how you implement that, I'm not a politician, I don't know how to go about all that. This is just my recommendation for you guys to look at, which is that you're gonna have no bird feeders, all trash must be properly secured, in a hard-sided building or in a bear-resistant can. And then and then no small livestock within a certain zone. So in my little drawing here, it's, you know, pathetic, but it's something, it's a start. Anything along Lover's Lane, that's where we've had the most issues. Anything along the river, that's gonna be a bear's natural corridor, is waterways. That's where we're gonna have the most problems. What happens is if you have bears find trash, bird feeders, barbecue grills, chickens, anything in that area, they're gonna venture further into town, they're gonna get into more trouble. And then the trouble's gonna get worse. It's gonna start with small stuff like bird feeders and trash. Next thing you know, they're breaking into buildings. This is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So I have a lot of evidence to back that up. So, my recommendations, again, somehow in those buffer zones, especially along the river, Fromberg can find a way to secure attractants. Whether that be through some sort of ordinance, like Red Lodge has, or just working with individuals in that area. Whatever you guys feel would be best, efficient, and is actually gonna work. Ordinance is tricky, as you guys know way better than I do, so I'm not sitting here to tell you to do that, but I am saying that is the easiest way to do it, or the most effective at least. Going down the list here, some things that we can do. You know, if there are opportunities, we can do stuff like electric fencing, which works really for any sort of attractant, from chickens to trash. Trash cans, Republic Services, I believe, deals with all your guys' trash here in town. So they offer in Carbon County a program that is $5 additional per month for a bear-resistant trash can. Bear-resistant trash cans are resistant, they're not proof. Anybody can look on Red Lodge Buzz and you can figure out that those are not bear-proof. However, they do solve a lot of the problems. And then lastly, just what we're doing with bears. So again, I'm new to the area, so you guys might know that the problem's worse than I do, but it seems to me, talking to individuals in the city or even on the outskirts, bear problems have gotten worse over the last few years. And it seems to me like a lot of people are under the impression that the population is growing. I don't know how true or not that is. All I can say is that since I've been here, bear problems are, like I said, worse than they should be for a town as small as Fromberg. So what I think is happening, and I don't know, is maybe when corn's getting cut, bears are moving down into town and finding food. But again, this is what I suspect. You guys are gonna know a lot better than me. Those bears, again, that's fine, but once they get down in town, if they find food, then they're probably not gonna go back to the corn as readily. They're gonna be coming back to town so they can find chicken strips. So the goal is to not let them find the fun stuff and make them have to work for their food somewhere else, not in town. Once they get in town, in all likelihood, we're killing them. I mean, I know that that's not ideal for a lot of folks, but truthfully, there's not a lot of places we can take bears that pick up these really bad habits without them either doing that somewhere else or coming back and doing it again. So we're trying to get to the point where we can stop the problems before we ever have to put a trap in the ground and kill them. Now, with that said, you know, as we're kind of figuring out things we can do with the city of Fromberg to solve some of these issues, we're definitely open to trapping some bears and moving them as we can, you know, kind of play whack-a-mole with this for a little while. But eventually we need to have something in place to where we can solve the problems. I'd love to tell you guys that the bear problems are going to go away. They're not. It just is what it is. They're here. There's not really much I can do about it. Eventually, it's not just going to be black bears, and then it's going to be a lot more concerning. And again, I have no control over that. It's just the way that it is. So I would love to help keep any bears, black or grizzly, out of town. And I'm open to any suggestions, but I at least want to bring it to everybody's attention. That's my spiel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did anybody have any questions?
What's my situation if I'm confronted with a bear that's destroying my livestock?
It depends on the species right now. If it's a black bear, you're within your legal right to kill it. If it's a grizzly bear, you gotta call us first.
Before or after we shoot it?
Yeah, I mean, they're on the endangered species list, so again, like it or not, these are the rules I'm working with.
As you're pulling the trigger.
If you have a problem with a grizzly bear, if a bear is going after livestock, I will kill it. I mean, it doesn't matter what species it is. We don't mess with bears that do that. So in all likelihood, we're going to be putting a trap in the ground, scooping that bear up and putting it down. You guys are well outside of a recovery zone, so we're not trying to have a population of grizzly bears out here. We're not managing for a population of grizzly bears. So if they're walking through, fine, but if they're actively getting in trouble, we're going to be putting them down. So all I would say is, you know, that anybody has the ability to break any laws that they want and deal with the consequences if they do that, but I will help you without you having to get into any trouble.
Did you catch the last couple of bears here?
We killed that one.
Did you?
Most recent one, yeah. Yeah. We tried to catch him, but he was kind of one of those that hits one place and goes to another place.
Yeah.
And you know, there's sorry if the homeowner's here, but he's staying on a street. It's got a pile of trash in the yard. I mean, and so you feel bad punishing a bear for that, because like, what would I do? I don't know, but at the same time, he's not going to be rehabilitated. He's going to keep doing that. So those are the problems that I'm hoping we can address.
When you had last year, he was here 3 different times and you finally put him down.
Yeah.
Being a beekeeper, will you guys come out and help, like, set up a way to,
Yep,
in town here?
absolutely. Yeah.
Don't need to
Just
go
get a hold
get a
of
fan.
somebody.
You know, I didn't bring cards in here, but these handouts have my number on them.
It's awful hot.
So give
Do you
me
want
my
me to go
dance
get a
arm on the
fan?
top there.
I guess
Is there a plug
This
in
yellow,
back?
what does
Yeah.
that mean?
So that was my
I'll go get
recommendation for a possible buffer zone. But I don't know of any problems on that west side of town, man. So this is just me not knowing the area very well.
Right.
I'm trying to
My
prevent a
thoughts.
problem would be to,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, the whole goal is that if a bear doesn't find any food when it's traveling on its normal highway right along the river, then it's got no reason to venture further into town. So wherever they're moving through, which again, new to the area, that would be the hope, is to stop them.
I just don't want them up, you know.
Yeah.
It's a great effect.
What's that?
Beehives.
Beehives are the best, are one
Yeah,
of the
so
best.
I need to try to.
We
It's
can
like,
get you,
speaking of pesky animals.
we can definitely help you get some electric fence,
Okay.
which is
Just get ahold of you guys.
pretty easy and very efficient.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
I have a question. Expand on that gentleman's comment. The bear kills one of his cows. Has he got a recourse for reimbursement?
Grizzly bears and wolves, he can get reimbursed. I think mountain lions as well, by the livestock law board. Black bears, no.
No black bear?
I don't know why. It's just the way why the livestock law board does it.
Was it just not too long ago, guys, over by Bridger's got some, a buffalo. And they're
Yeah.
going through there,
Yeah,
destroyed, he had a nice bull.
yeah. It's got to be. That was Ty. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be confirmed. I mean, the tricky part. It's not foolproof because the rancher's got to be able to find the animal quickly enough, and then we've got to be able. Well, really, it's USDA has to be able to go out there, confirm that a bear did it, and then confirm species. So you know, it's an imperfect thing, but it's you know, we can call it probable, so we can go out there and say, yeah, looks like it was killed. Found some grizzly bear hair on a fence. That's probable grizzly bear killed, but not enough where Fish and Wildlife Service is gonna, you know, feel comfortable with us trapping, so get them at least paid for that.
Black bear gets a free ride, huh?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I
Because you
mean,
can shoot them when they're on your property.
there are. I mean, it may be partially because of that. You know, I mean, black bears don't get the. So I treat bears the same, black or grizzly. If they're in a conflict, then most likely we're gonna put them down. A serious conflict. If it's something silly like tipping over a trash can, it's a little different. But if it's killing livestock, black or grizzly bear, we're gonna put them down. But you know, we have to go through a heck of a process if it's a grizzly bear. I have to call. You know, we just moved a grizzly bear from Greeno Lake area. I had to. If that was a black bear, it would have been as simple as me going there at night, set a trap, move the bear out of there. But with a grizzly bear, I've got to work with Fish and Wildlife Service. I've got to work with the Forest Service. I've got to work with Helena. You know, it's a big, huge process, and so they get special treatment. That's all I got. If there's no other questions, you guys feel free to track down my number and give me a holler, and hopefully we can make some progress.
Okay, well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it, thank you.
I do know that when we spoke on the phone the other day that we talked about the garbage company having these bear-proof garbage cans, and it was about $5 a month added on.
Yeah, so the city of Red Lodge pays for the whole town, but truthfully, I think that just along the Lover's Lane, kind of, you know, first and what, Blewett, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think that area, if you could get people to require at least storage, or require people to get cans, I think that's all a lot of issues.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it. That's something the council can think about.
It's a good thing.
Okay, next up is our sheriff's report.
Good evening, Sean Charles, Sergeant with the Sheriff's Office. So our report now runs from May 11th of this year to June 9th. In that time, we've had 78 hours and 23 minutes of overall time, with 14 hours and 43 minutes responding to calls, or dealing with the calls that we were dispatched to, and 63 hours and 40 minutes of regular patrol time. I know last meeting we discussed having issues on East River and on School Street. After I left that meeting, I went out and sent an email to our guys right away, so hopefully you guys are seeing them on East River and School Street, so that's good. I know they were there because I've seen them there,
but they're still not stopping anything. They're still not stopping anybody. The traffic's still flying up and down these bridges.
Like I've said, guys,
I
they
know
know
you
how
can't be there.
fast they're going. They have a radar. They're hitting the cars. If they're violating and they're going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, they're going to be stopping them. They're going to be riding citations. We can't stop people that aren't breaking. they wouldn't be sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
Is
They'd
that
much
too
rather
much?
be doing something else.
I've seen a lot more.
Thank you. Are they sitting out in the open or are they sitting off the street?
Sitting out in the open.
Don't sit off the street, you'll catch them coming down.
So right next to us, right in our driveway, they can.
My philosophy with my guys is I want to protect the community, right? I want people seeing our patrol guys out there. I don't want them hiding behind bushes and coming out and snatching somebody for no reason.
All they gotta do is sit on the side street.
Absolutely. If they're all sitting on the side street, they see a patrol car there, they're going to slow down. I know every time I go by and I see a cop, I still look down my still and check my speed. So that works. We know that works. I'm not in charge of speed limits. I know where your speed limit is. I'm not one.
Okay, do we have any questions for the deputy?
What type of calls are you responding to?
Traffic, civil, medical emergencies, traffic threats, domestics, death, fish, wildlife, and park assists, animal ones, it ranges from
Okay, a little bit of
everything. So we
everything.
responded to 30 calls in that time. It ranges from self-initiated activities such as making traffic stops and stuff like that to doing a death investigation. So everything.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up is our special events application. Rachel? Yes.
So, I spoke with Diane DeLand. I don't know if anybody's familiar with her. She has ALS. She's been in this town for years. She's a huge supporter of farmers. She's always supported the fire department, always supported as many people as she can. Anyways, she's out of money. She needs help. We need to help her as a town, and she's got less than a year, they figure. She would like to see another Farmer Days before she passes. That was one thing she said. She'd really like to see the town come back together and do one. So what I thought we could do is put on the Farmer Days for Diane. We would do hot dogs and hamburgers at the Two Bear. We're gonna try and get everything covered financially for her. Do wristbands for the food, and then ID checks and wristbands for the alcohol. Minor marks for anybody in the area of where the alcohol is served, dancing and all that, are gonna have to be displayed for them in the dance area. We have security covered. I spoke with Josh McClellan. He said if they can't cover it, myself and Chris Boyd would cover it, but they hopefully can cover it, and they're going ahead and donating those for Diane. So the town won't be responsible for any of that. We can use Diane's dumpster, we can use our dumpsters, and if anybody else wants to pitch in, just to try and make the cost as little as we can for this for Di. We'd like to open up the alcohol for the Tomahawk corridor, for out in the big park, so they can run horseshoes and all that for their events. I don't know if we can discuss something about it, maybe a percentage for the horseshoe mic, or like whatever they can do for